What's up, guys? Welcome to vid 4. Big update today in this video, and you know what? I'm just going to cut right to it because I'm pretty excited. So let me turn you guys over here, and that is a C4 suspension sitting in my car right now. I made up a couple of adapter brackets, basically, and I apologize. I didn't get this on video. It was one of those things where I was way too in the zone. I was going at it and pretty much just plain forgot the camera. So, anyways, you'll have to excuse me for that. But made a couple of adapter brackets. Pretty much, I got the cross member completely lined up. Had plumb bobs on all 4 control arm mounts to get it perfectly centered where I need it to be. Got the height set on it. I had to cut the rack mounts off to get it to fit with the oil pan just for mock-up. And I did clearance the rear for the oil pan. So that allowed me to get the cross member basically into the position it has to be in. And once I had it perfectly level and square and exactly where it was going to be, made up some brackets that bolt to my existing frame rail holes and then bolt to the cross member, and it's in. I double checked it. It's exactly where it's supposed to be. Now this is temporary. This is not, obviously the permanent install. But what it's going to allow me to do now is to cut the access hole up here, since I know exactly where it has to be now. I can run the upper A-arm through. I can pretty much assemble the entire suspension in the car. Check everything. If everything checks out, if the wheel is centered in the wheel well and all that, then it's time to put it in. I mean, the guesswork is done. The math is done. It's going to be fun stuff from here on out. So I don't know. Let's start working. I'm pumped. All right, guys. This is where I'm currently at the moment. I've got the suspension mocked up. I've been double checking things and a lot of putting stuff together and taking it back apart to check clearances and all that. But basically I've got the frame rail cut out, and the next step is going to be to fabricate a new frame rail. But unfortunately the local metal supplier that I'm using told me they had the box steel in stock. Or he thought they had it in stock. I went to go pick it up, and he called me when I was about halfway there and just said, "Hey, I apologize, but we don't actually have it in stock, and they've got to order it." So I'm pretty much at a standstill until I get it. I can't cut the other side yet because obviously this is a unibody car. You do one frame rail at a time. But anyways, that's where I'm at. That should be in, I think he said late Monday or early Tuesday. So for now, this is pretty much where I'm at and where I'm going to stay at. And because of that, unfortunately, this is a quick video this week. But I'm making progress. I'm really hoping by the end of next week, I'll have both frame rails fabricated up. And just to kind of explain to you what I'm going to be doing, I ordered 3" by 3" box steel, 120 wall, and that's going to fit nicely inside both the front and rear section. So I plan on installing that kind of on an angle to match up with the angle of the upper control arm here, and it's going to be inserted about 4 inches or so into each frame rail. I'm going to drill a series of holes on both sides, plug weld that in place, and maybe add a gusset or 2 on the inside, just so that piece of box steel is my main frame reinforcement. And then I'm going to get the factory size sheet metal, which I believe is 14 gauge. I think that's 14 gauge stuff. And pretty much surround the piece of box steel with it to make the frame rail look like it's a complete frame rail again. And I'm going to end up plug welding the sheet metal to the piece of box steel. Going to butt weld it all around the outside of the old frame ends, and pretty much the piece of box steel will be the main support piece on the inside, and then the sheet metal will fill it all around it, match up with the factory frame rails, so you won't even see the box steel when I'm done, and it'll appear to just be a factory frame rail that fits the Corvette suspension. The reason that I didn't use any of the factory frame, I actually originally planned on keeping some of it and just cutting it and then adding metal where I could. But unfortunately, and one of my concerns was that the upper A-arm, the way that it's positioned, was going to prevent me from using any of the factory frame rail, and sure enough, that is what happened, and I'll show you why. This is part of the factory frame rail. Obviously, when it was original, you had your big hump right here for the spring. Once you cut that hump out, this is what you're left with. And as you can see, if I kind of tuck that back where it was, if I was to clearance this for that upper A-arm, it pretty much would have left me with like this through the whole center section, and that's just a no-go. So I mean, the factory frame rail is really not usable in this case, but not a big deal. I'll just build my own, and I think that the end product is going to be a much cleaner setup and probably stronger than factory. But like I said, that's where I'm at. I'm sorry for the short video, but I'm sure, as most of you know, this is the way things go when you're waiting on metal and whatever other supplies you need. Sometimes you just can't get it all done in 1 week. But stay tuned for the next video, and I might have some frame rails made up. So I will catch you guys later.